All right, and welcome back to Nerd Alert.
Yep, we're still doing this.
Yeah, and I'm still Tim.
I'm still Chris.
And today, we're reviewing Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I will say, before we get too far into this discussion, there will be spoilers abound.
Spoilers.
So if you haven't seen this movie, pause this, go to the theater, do whatever you have to do.
Go
See
watch
this
the movie
first. Yeah, because we will spoil
And then
everything
come
in it.
back here and like the video and, subscribe and all that stuff. And, prove our self-worth.
Exactly, yeah. So Chris, why don't you start? Tell us what you thought about Captain America.
To be honest, I was pretty disappointed with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad movie. I think maybe it was just a little overhyped or something. We kept hearing all these plugs about, it's the best superhero movie, not just Marvel movie, the best superhero movie yet, and it's better than the Avengers. And I know that all movies do that. They've all got these fake plugs that pull sentences from critics or whatever.
Yeah.
But I still got my hopes up because Marvel's really good about building this big, expansive Marvel universe and putting it on the screen, and all the films are connected somehow. So I was really excited. When they started talking about how it was going to have this big event in it that was going to directly affect Avengers 2 and it was going to spread across their whole universe, I took it seriously. I thought it really was. I'm not saying that nothing happened. A lot of stuff happened, but I didn't think it was worth all the hype, so I was quite disappointed with it.
With the first Captain America film, I wasn't expecting much, and I was then pleasantly surprised. So I was hoping for something similar with this. But in the end, I thought it was fine. There's nothing wrong with it as far as I could tell. It's technically well made. The action's pretty good. I'm still not a big fan of Chris Evans. I don't think it's a very charismatic lead. It's okay. It's still not as good as I think the best superhero film yet, which I think is, it depends how you go. You can either go Avengers or The Dark Knight, depending on if you want very comic booky, very cartoony, or if you want something more realistic.
Yeah, I don't know who said it was better than the Avengers. I don't know where they're getting that from.
Yeah.
Because Avengers, while not a perfect movie, I do know it has its flaws. But especially when it first came out, that movie did live up to its hype. So I don't know where they're getting this quote about better than the Avengers, because this, while a good movie, was not better than the Avengers. The first thing I noticed was I don't think that they utilized the title character besides Captain America himself, the Winter Soldier. I'm not a huge Captain America fan, but even I know about the background of the Winter Soldier, and I knew that it was actually Bucky, and who didn't f***ing know it was Bucky, honestly. My sister's never read a comic book in her life, and she knew it was Bucky. I remember hearing about the backstory about the Winter Soldier. I remember them talking about how he would be cryogenically frozen and then brought out all throughout history. He keeps coming back throughout time periods by Hydra in order to assassinate political figures when things are going too far away from what Hydra's goals are.
Yeah.
So he's basically like their ace in the hole. And I didn't get that feeling from this guy. They had a brief little description with Captain and Black Widow about who the Winter Soldier was, but honestly, I thought that was going to be the whole intro to the movie. I thought the introduction was going to be watching this figure that we're not supposed to know who it is in all different sorts of time periods, like in, Japan, right after World War II. And then forward on from that point all the way up to 2014, and we were going to see him taking out, political figures and stuff, but that never happened.
Right, yeah, they make the Winter Soldier more of a bit player for what the ultimate goal of Hydra in the film is, to basically take control of S.H.I.E.L.D. and use S.H.I.E.L.D.'s resources to have complete control over the world.
And that is the bigger story here. So it's not like I blame them. It's just, it seems really weird that you would title the movie off the Winter Soldier and you bring the Winter Soldier back, and he's cool and everything, but he's a very small part of the bigger story that they're trying to tell. And
near the beginning, you see Nick Fury, Sam Jackson's character, is killed off. But of course, he doesn't actually die. It's all just so he can
that was
be
upsetting,
off the radar.
because Nick Fury does die in the comic books a few times, so I knew he was going to come back eventually, but I thought that was going to be the big ground changer for Avengers 2, and no, it wasn't.
Well, and then it's just played off as we just had to hide him so we could create this elaborate plan to take down Hydra. Nick Fury would not be killed off. You can't kill off those characters.
I guess. Not for good anyways.
So my biggest issue was just that it felt so pointless. It felt like this was just complete failure until we get to Avengers 2, because it's an issue that any of the Avengers could have solved in a half second.
I'm not feeling the Captain America love here, by the way. With any other Avenger could solve it in a second. But I get what you're saying, because the really big thing that happened in this that would affect the whole Marvel universe that I can foresee anyways is the fact that S.H.I.E.L.D. got disbanded.
Yes.
And maybe that, I'm guessing that's the point, because it certainly wasn't that Bucky remembered who he was.
No,
That's
yeah.
not going to, that's not going to come into play until friggin' Captain America 3.
How they set up the end of the film for the third Captain America film, like that movie should be called The Winter Soldier. That one is definitely going to have more of an impact on the relationship between Captain America and Bucky. The
Because
Winter
now
Soldier.
Bucky knows that he's Bucky, and
Yeah.
he ended the movie figuring out who he was and all that, and going to the Captain America Museum and reading a little biography on him. That was the other thing that pissed me off, by the way. So when you sit through the Marvel movies, you sit through their ending credits, and you sit through that because you know that there's going to be a secret scene at the end. Now, the first secret scene they showed,
we'll get
because
to
we
that.
got to touch on that.
Yeah.
But the second one, after that long credit sequence, and what do they give you at the end of this one? You get Bucky walking into a museum and reading about himself in a biography, and that's it. That's the whole thing. It's not even like a little montage. It's not a little narrative piece so we can get what he's thinking. It's literally him standing there reading a biography. That's it. It comes to a close. And I don't know what the they were thinking with that, because we saw Bucky at the end of the movie save Captain America from drowning, and then he walks off to go, be roguish and all that. So we know he's alive. So it's not like it was this big, oh, he's still alive. And we know that he knows he's Bucky again. So this is basically just confirming, so he goes to read up about himself.
Yeah,
That's not an ending credit scene.
It's a really bad
That's crap.
Sort of lead into what Captain America 3 could be. Natasha and Cap are talking about how there's a chance that they might be going and looking for him.
Yeah.
So it's certainly something that they've set up, and that after credit sequence, the second one was completely useless, unnecessary.
So the biggest thing that I hated about this movie, well, no, that's harsh. It's not that I hated this about this movie. It's what I hate in general with Hollywood. And even though I love the fact that Hollywood brings us movies, because let's face it, without Hollywood, we probably wouldn't have movies like the Avengers and everything.
Yeah,
They'd
absolutely.
never get off the ground.
Yeah.
We certainly wouldn't have this whole expanded Marvel universe on the big screen, that's for sure. But it's inevitable that when we're dealing with Hollywood, we will run into basically what I call corporation dick fights. The big thing that irks me right now is the fact that they introduced Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver at the end credit sequence.
Yeah.
I kept wondering why nobody was referring to them as mutants.
No mention of Magneto, no
Yeah,
mention of
like
mutants.
as far as we know, they don't even exist in that universe
Yeah.
yet. Like they've never been connected yet. So I was thinking, so does that mean they're going to bring them all together, and maybe we're going to get like an X-Men in Avengers or something?
I
And,
wish.
we're going to get some characters coming together or something. Turns out that Fox owns X-Men.
Yeah.
And they officially own the fucking word mutant. And apparently you can have characters from the X-Men, but you can't refer to them as mutants.
Yeah.
And that makes absolutely no sense to me, because first of all, it's a damn word. I know you can copyright a word, but you shouldn't be able to.
Right.
That's fucking stupid. Like, it's the same thing with this whole Spider-Man going to Sony, and only Sony can use Spider-Man. We're never going to see Spider-Man in the same Marvel universe as the Avengers, because Sony owns Spider-Man. They don't want to give him up. Fox is doing the exact same thing with X-Men now, where you can't say the fucking word mutants. So in the Avengers universe, in Joss Whedon's universe, they say, okay, well, we're going to make a new word for mutant then. They're still going to be special powered beings, but they're not going to be mutants. They're going to be altered humans. It's this big dick slapping competition with them, because they're all part of the same universe, really. They're all Marvel characters, and we really want to see them all come together. But they're saying, no, we're not going to do that. Why? Well, because then we'd make less money. Like, you are a multi-billion-dollar corporation, all three of you alone. Couldn't you all work out some kind of a deal where you can split profits 3 ways?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it is because at this point, the Spider-Man films and the X-Men films are huge. Like with the relaunch with the Amazing Spider-Man to turn it around after Spider-Man 3, and basically every X-Men film, except for 3 and Origins Wolverine, have been huge like commercial hits. And yeah, they don't want to give up that money, so they will keep those contracts, those licenses, as long as they can.
Like,
and it makes for some really weird situations.
And that's crap. That's absolute crap, because, I want to say this right now, I do love the superhero movies. I love superhero movies. It's my damn kryptonite. I can't even make an analogy without fitting a superhero in there somehow. But honestly, when you do stuff like this, you force people to start writing around this stupid crap. And when you start writing around this stupid crap, one of two things happens. Either one, they end up somehow innovating the genre or the character or the story or whatever in ways that it 1 in a million shot that it actually works out for the best. Or two, the much more likely scenario, it becomes a f***ing mess.
Yeah.
And it's all due to this legal jargon. F*** you. Give me Spider-Man in Avengers. Well, that's about it for this episode of Nerd Alert. So be sure to like this video, subscribe if you feel like it, so you can continue to make us feel good about ourselves, and we'll continue making more movies.
And then join us next time as we talk about whatever's new in the world and whatever's got Chris over here in a huff.
Healthy versions of junk food.